Hello and welcome back to the Olympic Oval. This afternoon for more great racing, we have the Oval International 1500 meter for the ladies. 20 pairs of skaters coming up. These girls racing over 1500 meters, that is 3 3/4 lap. That means that they do 300 meters on the opener, then 3 full laps. Up first, Gabrielle Sanson from Saskatchewan in the inner lane and Brooklyn McDougall from Alberta in the outer. Gabrielle Sanson chasing a personal best of 2:06.88. Brooklyn McDougall 2:08.88. So keep an eye on Brooklyn McDougall. If she's keeping pace with Gabrielle Sanson, means she's on a good race. Through 300 meters, it's McDougall who has the lead. 26.92 her opening split. 27.2 for Brooklyn McDougall. And McDougall coming around the outside, getting a little bit of a draft on that backstretch, always an advantage. The skater in front of you can break the wind, and for at least a small section of the race, you get some relief. As McDougall really taking it to Sanson with 2 laps to go. Her split time, 30.91 her lap time. Sanson, 31.81. As they move on to the backstretch. And they will cross over. As they come around, they'll have 1 lap to go, so they will change lanes 1 more time. Brooklyn McDougall still leading her pair. So we get the bell lap. Brooklyn McDougall. Her lap time, 33.58. 34.65 for Gabrielle Sanson. So McDougall, who's chasing a personal best of 2:08, will have to skate this next lap in the 35 range if she wishes to come near that personal best. So keep an eye on that lap time as she comes down the final stretch. Sanson finishing as well. And both skaters swinging 2 arms to the line. Brooklyn McDougall, her final time, 2:07.84. That's a personal best for her. 1 second off her previous time. Gabrielle Sanson, 2:10.68. So 1 race down, and those are the times to beat. Brooklyn McDougall with a 2:07.84. As we have a look at our second pair. In the inner lane du Québec, c'est Véronique Dady. In the outer lane from Ontario, Taylor White. And a clean start for both skaters as they come down that backstretch, trying to get up to speed. First 200 meters are what the skaters would call an excel. Every stride is a little bit longer, a little bit stronger as they try and get up to top speed. And it's Dady who leads the way through 300 meters. Dady mène son temps d'ouverture 27.25. Taylor White 27.86. So Dady just a little shy of the pace set by Brooklyn McDougall. Always interesting in the 1500 meter to watch the beginning and the end of the race. Some skaters start fast, finish slower. Some skaters finish much quicker but have slower starts. As this race is tightening, Taylor White starting to gain ground on Véronique Dady with 2 laps to go as they cross over on the backstretch. They come around, they have 500 meters to go, 1/3 of the race remaining for Véronique Dady and Taylor White. Taylor White was catching her pair, but Dady starting to pull ahead again. 32 flat. 32-0 son temps de 400 mètres. Avec un tour à faire pour Véronique Derry. Taylor White trailing behind her as they're on the last backstretch, crossing over one last time before the final corner. Derry has taken over the fastest time after 1,100 meters. Let's see if she can maintain it. And she does. And she moves to first place on the leaderboard. Son temps final, 2:04:06 pour Véronique Derry. Taylor White, 2:06:50. Alors, un temps personnel pour Véronique Derry, personal best for Véronique Derry. First time under 2:05. Taylor White also breaking a personal best. She skated at 2:07 last year in March. So the summer of training surely paid off for Véronique Derry and Taylor White. The ice is fast here at the Olympic Oval. So expect some more quick times. Up next, Namaste Harris Gauthier du Québec in the inner lane. Danielle Wallish from Alberta in the outer. And these skaters are underway through the first 100 meters. It's a long straightaway in the 1,500 meter. As you watch the start, watch for the skaters' legs to move quick at the beginning and then slowly transition into longer strides. Et c'est Namaste Harris Gauthier qui mène après 300 mètres son temps d'ouverture. 27:78. Danielle Wallish, 28:15. So it's still a close race after 300. This first lap will be instructive. Will Namaste Harris Gauthier continue to put it to her pair? And she does. And she is now at the top spot on the leaderboard through 700 meters. So through 700, Namaste Harris Gauthier faster than Véronique Derry. She will have to maintain this pace if she wishes to take over first. Her lap time was under 30 seconds, very quick. That's the first sub 30 second lap time we've seen this afternoon in the ladies 1,500 meter. As she comes through, bell lap. 31:31. She's chasing down a personal best. Her personal best is 2:03:64. If she maintains this pace, she is set to smash that. Danielle Wallish following behind her. Danielle Wallish's personal best is a 2:06:45. She is also on pace. It's going to be a close finish as Namaste Harris Gauthier, elle vient à la fin. Et elle finit avec un temps final de 2:02:39. That's a personal best. 1 second off her previous best time. Danielle Wallish, 2:07:48, just missing hers. So we've seen a number of personal bests here this morning. Véronique Derry, Taylor White, Namaste Harris Gauthier, all setting PBs. As we move on to our fourth pair, this is Courtney Schmier from Alberta in the inner lane, and Alexandra Yenculescu from Romania in the outer. And here we go. Courtney Schmier in the inner. Alexandra Yenculescu in the outer. Schmier, who is on a great weekend here, personal bests in both her 500 and 1,000 meter, recently converted from short track over to long track. So she's still learning the ropes of the new sport. Alex Yenculescu sprint specialist leads through 300. That's the fastest opener of the morning. 26.2. Any opener under 26.5 for a woman is a very quick opener. So Alexandria Kolescu moving quick through the first 300. Courtney Schmier as well, as they come around with 2 laps to go. Kolescu from Romania, her lap time 29.3, 29.4 for Schmier. Both skaters sub 29.5. So these skaters are pulling away from the time set from Harris Gauthier. See if they can maintain that pace. This is Courtney Schmier's first ever 1500 meter race. So she'll be looking to set a benchmark as Kolescu continues to lead onto the bell lap. Her lap time 31.68, still ahead of Harris Gauthier. Courtney Schmier 32.2. As Kolescu will go over the top of her pair. 1500 meter is a long race for a short track skater. It is actually the longest race that short track skaters compete in on the short ice. As Kolescu will finish at the line 2:01.21, her final time. Courtney Schmier sets her first ever 1500 meter time at 2:04.75. So Alexandria Kolescu narrowly missing her personal best. Courtney Schmier setting a benchmark that she will aim to beat throughout the rest of the season. And up next, we have a solo skater racing in the outer lane, Connie Kapak from Alberta. So we had a scratch, Connie Kapak, therefore racing on her own. The strategy in the 1500 meter race is to get up to speed as fast as possible in the first 300 meters. Hold on to that pace in the first lap. So the first lap should be a very quick lap, but the skaters should be looking for easy speed and efficiency. The second lap, they then have to start working hard in the corners, and on the final lap, they hang on for dear life as those legs burn. As Connie Kapak comes through first 300 meter opener, 28.3. So Connie Kapak will be chasing the time set by Danielle Wallish. Danielle Wallish's final time was a 2:07.48. And if Kapak can keep that up, that would be a personal best. She's aiming for sub 2:09. Let's have a look at her first lap time, 31.6. And so she is still on pace with Danielle Wallish with 2 laps to go. Kapak looking low and strong on that backstretch as she enters the corner. So these skaters racing over 1500 meters. She's on to the bell lap now. This is where the legs start to burn. 33.74 her lap time. So between her first and second lap, she lost 2 seconds. That's a normal drop off in the 1500 meter. Let's see if she can keep this final lap under 2 seconds. And it looks like she was accelerating into that last corner. So Connie Kapak looking for a strong finish in this 1500 meter. She's chasing Danielle Wallish to the line. Her final time, 2:09.65. Kapak takes 8th place, just beating Gabrielle Sanson at the line. 2:09.65 as the final time is just shy of her personal best, so 0.2 short. Still a good race for Kapak. As we now move on to the next pair, this is Caroline Gingras from Quebec in the inner lane and Olivia Scott from Ontario in the outer. As they are now underway, Caroline Gingras, her personal best, a 2:08.98. So 2:08.98, if she skated her personal best, that would put her in 8th. So watch the position marker at the far right-hand side of your screen. So right now she is off pace of her personal best. Olivia Scott, opening split 29.26. Olivia Scott's chasing a PB of 2:10.31. So she's going to be looking to beat the time set by Gabrielle Sanson in 9th. As these skaters come around with 2 laps to go. Let's see what first lap time they establish. Olivia Scott, 31.25. So Scott is gaining on her pair. Actually, she has passed her pair coming through the line. Gingras trying to keep pace. So both skaters 1 minute into their race. Just under halfway through 700 meters in. As they come around 500 meters to go, they will get the bell. Olivia Scott coming through, her lap time 33.0. So Olivia Scott under 2-second drop off. That's a good dive from her first to second lap. Olivia Scott, if she maintains this pace, is looking at a sub 2:09 finish. That would put her in place for a big personal best driving to the line. Olivia Scott, 2:08.47. That's 1.5 seconds off her previous personal best. So Olivia Scott with the race of her life in that 1500 meter. Caroline Gingras, 2 minutes 10 et 11 centimes. As we now move on to the next pair, a number of personal bests here this afternoon at the Olympic Oval. So all the skaters coming up next, they'll know that the ice is fast. And they should be chomping at the bit for an opportunity to skate a personal best, as Kayla McNeely from Alberta in the inner lane and Danielle Zumuchel from New Brunswick in the outer lane line up at the line, and they're off. This is McNeely and Zumuchel. So Kayla McNeely will be aiming for 8th place if she breaks her personal best. That would put her just ahead of Connie Capac in the rankings. Danielle Zumuchel will aim to finish 11th, and if she does, she will set a personal best as well. So these two girls chasing times of 2:09 and 2:11 respectively. Their opening splits, 28.7 for Zumuchel, 29.2 for McNeely. So Zumuchel carving out a few meter lead here with 2 laps to go. Danielle Zumuchel, her first lap time, 31.86. Kayla McNeely, 31.97. So Zumuchel, about 7/10 of a second up on her pair. Both skaters chasing that clock as they come around. 500 meters to go. The lactic acid is building up as they come down through the line, looking strong. Zumuchel in the outer lane. Her lap time, 33.7. McNeely now picking it up, 33.5. So Zumuchel had the lead with 1 to go, but McNeely gaining ground. It should be an interesting finish. as they come around, Zumushel finishes on the inner. Will that be enough to propel her to the end? As they come out side by side, it's a drag race to the finish. McNeely finishing in the outer lane. Looks like she has the lead, and she will finish up with a final time of 2:09.28. Kayla McNeely, the 2:09.28, sets a personal best. Danielle Zumushel smashes her PB, breaking 2 minutes and 10 seconds for the first time ever. So 2 big PBs in that last pair. We have seen over half of these skaters so far in this ladies 1500 meter break personal bests. So the ice is fast, the skaters are fit, and they're breaking personal bests as we move on to the next pair. In the inner lane du Québec, c'est Rose La Liberté Roy. In the outer lane from Ontario, it's Jasmine Chase. These two skaters are well matched. Their PBs are low 2:11s for both of them. So look for them to try and beat those times today. If they are keeping pace with Gabrielle Sanson, who finished 13th, who is currently sitting in 13th, means that they are on pace. And Rosa Liberté Roy with a very quick opener, 27.6. Let's see if she can hang on to that pace for the rest of the race. Jasmine Chase, her opener, 29.6. So Rosa Liberté Roy taking 2 seconds out of her pair in the first 300 meters as she will continue to lead with 2 laps to go. Son temps après 500 mètres, 59.75. Her lap time, 32.07. So La Liberté Roy currently sitting in 9th. If she can maintain that pace, it would put her in line for a sub 2:10 time. That would be a personal best. Jasmine Chase in the outer lane, starting to gain ground as we get the bell. 1 lap to go for Rose La Liberté Roy. Her lap time 32.34.8, but Jasmine Chase took a second out of her on that last lap. And let's see if Chase in the inner lane can hunt down her pair as they enter the last corner. And it looks like she will. Jasmine Chase charging into the inner will complete the comeback into the final straightaway. Jasmine Chase, who after 300 meters was 2 seconds back, has made up that ground, and she will finish with a final time of 2:11.19. That is a personal best for Jasmine Chase. Rose La Liberté Roy, 2:12.44 centièmes. As we now move on to our next pair. In the inner lane with the white armband from British Columbia, it's Kirsten Hagen. And in the outer lane with the red armband du Québec, c'est Rosanne Grenier. So another well-matched pair. Their personal bests, both 2:12.5. Alors, le meilleur temps jamais patiné par les deux patineuses, 2:12.5. So it should be a close race. And Kirsten Hagen taking it early to her pair. Her opening split, 29.3, 29.4 for Rosanne Grenier. So both skaters, close race through 300 meters as Grenier coming back on Hagen. So Hagen took the opener, but Grenier is challenging her now after 700, and she's taken a second out of her pair. Her lap time 32:16, 33:47 for Kirsten Hagen. So Roseanne Grenier currently on pace for a personal best. If she can maintain the pace she set in this first lap for the rest of the race, she will be aiming at a mid 2:11 time as the bell rings. Un tour à faire pour Rosanne Grenier. Son temps de 400 mètres, 33,87. Kirsten Hagen, 35:1. And so if Rosanne Grenier can keep this next lap under 36, she is in line for a good finish. She'll be close to her personal best as she comes down the line. Rosanne Grenier striving. Her final time, 2:11:16. Personal best for Rosanne Grenier. Kirsten Hagen finishes up with a 2:13:93. Moving on now to our 10th pair. This is Sierra Johnson from Ontario in the inner lane. In the outer, it's Amanda Mitchell from BC. So Sierra Johnson looking to break a personal best of 2:12:96. Amanda Mitchell, her personal best, 2:13:33. So keep an eye on those split times. If they wish to break their personal best, they will be aiming for a opening split of under 30 seconds here. And Sierra Johnson with a very quick opener, 28.5. Amanda Mitchell, sub 30. She's on pace, 29.6. As they continue to move down that backstretch, this first lap has to be fast. Sierra Johnson, a sprinter, so expect her to open quick. As Amanda Mitchell will try and chase her down through the rest of the race. Johnson's first lap time, 32.3, 32.8 for Mitchell. So Sierra Johnson with that lap time, continuing on pace. See if she can keep it up with 1.5 laps to go. As they come around into the home stretch for the second last time. Bell lap now for Johnson and Mitchell. Johnson pulling ahead. Her lap time, 34.5. So Sierra Johnson keeping her drop off to under 2 seconds. That's a good drop offs for Sierra Johnson. She can maintain this pace in the outer lane. She's on pace for a personal best, coming around that lane into the finishing stretch. Johnson skating there, but Mitchell's making a comeback. Both skaters striving to the line. Johnson's final time, 2:12:31. That's a personal best for Sierra Johnson. 2:13:47. Amanda Mitchell just missing hers by a tenth of a second. So great race from both ladies as we now move on to our 11th pair. We are halfway through the ladies 1,500 meters oval international competition. Up next, it's Jenna Mirth from Alberta in the inner lane and Ashley Hanna from Manitoba in the outer. Clean start for both skaters. We have not seen a false start yet in these ladies 1500 meters. So skaters are proving to be patient on the line. False starts are risky because a second false start results in a disqualification. As Jenna Mirth will lead the way through 300 meters. Her opening split, 28.76. So very quick opening split for Jenna Mirth. 29.74 for Ashley Hanna. So these skaters both doing what they have to do at the opening stages of this race to beat their personal bests. Jenna Mirth chasing a mid 2:13. Ashley Hanna chasing a mid 2:14. As Mirth continues to lead. 2 laps to go for Jenna Mirth. Her lap time 32.68. Ashley Hanna 32.7. So these lap times setting them up for PBs. Jenna Mirth currently on pace with Kayla McNeely and Jasmine Chase. She can finish strong like those two did. She is setting herself up for a 1 to 2 second personal best as Mirth comes through. Bell lap. Lap time 34.4. Ashley Hanna 35.3. So both skaters fading a bit on that lap, but that's normal in the 1500 meter. Every lap will be slower than the previous one. So they are in their final lap here. As Jenna Mirth comes around, still leading her pair, Ashley Hanna, in through the finish. Jenna Mirth looking for a sub 2:13, and she sets a personal best, 2:13.25, just under her previous best mark, 2:15.69 for Ashley Hanna. Moving on now to our next pair. It's Cassidy Peterson in the inner lane and Anna Bourgeois in the outer. Both Albertan skaters. As we look at them standing on the line, identical suits. You can tell them apart by the armbands. Inner lane wears the white armband. The outer lane sports the red armband. And they're off. Through 100 meters. It's a close race. These skaters both chasing sub 2:15s. If they can open under 30 seconds, means they're on pace. And they both do. Low 29 for Anna Bourgeois, mid 29 for Cassidy Peterson. So good openers for both skaters. They cross over in the backstretch, and it looks like Anna Bourgeois had a slight slip. Hard to know whether that was from interference from Cassidy Peterson. We couldn't quite see it, or whether she just slipped coming out of the corner. But Peterson recovering nicely as she comes around. 2 laps to go. She has a small lead on her pair. 1 second up for Cassidy Peterson with 2 laps to go. So Anna Bourgeois, Cassidy Peterson still on pace for personal bests. Look for this next lap to be in the low 35, high 34 range for both skaters if they're still going to stay on pace, as Cassidy Peterson making a comeback. Coming through, 1 lap to go. And the skaters both just off the pace right now of their personal bests. Low 36s. As Peterson will try and finish strong on this last lap as they're on the backstretch. The goal when those legs burn up is to stay low It's so easy when the skaters get tired to start to pop up and to let go of the technique. But if they stay low and keep the focus on exactly where their legs are and where their legs are and what they're doing, you can maintain their pace. 2:17.17 for Cassidy Peterson, her final time. Anna Bourgeois, 2:18.25. So we now move on to our next pair. In the inner lane from British Columbia, it's Samara Thu. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, Emma Javra. The skaters lining up on the line. In the 1500 meter, they start staggered. The inner lane starts approximately 20 meters behind the outer lane. That is because the inner lane travels less distance on the first corner. Both skaters in the end will complete 1500 meters, changing laps or changing lanes every lap. As they come around, Emma Javra rocketing ahead through the first 300. Her opening split, 30.1, 32.48 for Samara Thu. So Emma Javra chasing a personal best of 2:18.35. Anything under 2:18 would be a great final time for Emma Javra. If she wishes to break her personal best, look for her to maintain pace with Anna Bourgeois, who is 13th. And looks like we have a fall from Samara Thu out of the outer lane. So Samara Thu crashing on the second lap of this 1500 meters. Emma Javra will finish this race on her own with 2 laps remaining for Emma Javra. Samara Thu crashing out. So Javra's first lap time, a 34.48. If she is going to beat her personal best, this next lap should be in the low 36s. So she is just off the pace right now, 37.08. She comes around the outer. She has the advantage of finishing on the inner. As the legs get tired and the skaters slow down, it is easier to push on a tighter radius corner. So finishing on the inner is often an advantage. Emma Javra coming around into that final corner. Her personal best, 2:18.35. See if she can do it as she comes down the stretch to the line, and she is just going to miss her PB. Her final time, 2:20.82. So in our next pairing, we have Lily Weidman from Ontario in the inner lane. In the outer lane, Jessica Conrad from Alberta. Oh, and it appears we may have a slight delay at the start. We have a small, short ice delay as the referee inspects the ice to ensure that it is safe to skate over with a sharp blade. Looks like he found something. He's just standing over that hole, waiting for our ice crew to hustle on over. So far through 13 pairs, the fastest time was set by Alexandra Yankulescu. She skated a 2:01.21. Namaste Harris Gauthier skated the second fastest time, 2:02.38. Véronique Dei was third, 2:04.06. And Courtney Schmier, in her first ever 1500 meters, skated a 2:04.75. If you want live splits or an updated list of the final times, you can go to liveresults.oval.ucalgary.ca for live updated split times and results. Following the race, you can go to results.oval.ucalgary.ca for a final accounting at the conclusion of the races. So this is the last 1500 meter competition of the day. Already this morning we have seen the men's oval international 1500 meter. That was at 9 o'clock this morning. Fastest time there was set by Conrad Nagy. That 1500 meter competition was followed up by the ladies and men's fall World Cup selections, where the best Canadian skaters raced to determine who would get to represent this country at the 4 fall World Cup competitions. You can find replays of those events on the Olympic Oval YouTube page. And it looks like we are ready to go again with our 14th pair of ladies 1500 meters. Lily Weidman from Ontario in the inner lane, Jessica Conrad from Alberta in the outer, as they take off down that backstretch in through their first 300 meters. And it looks like in the inner lane, Lily Weidman taking a big lead on her pair as they come out into the home stretch. 3 laps remaining for both skaters. 1,200 meters to go. Lily Weidman's opening split, 30.3. Jessica Conrad, 32.5. So Lily Weidman chasing a personal best of 2:18.84. Jessica Conrad, her personal best is a 2:20.32. So Conrad paired with a slightly faster skater, great opportunity for her to chase someone the whole race. Lily Weidman will be chasing her time as they come through. 2 laps remaining. First lap times 34.6 for Weidman, 34.7 for Conrad. So Conrad had the slower opener, but she's starting to pick it up. So Lily Weidman currently just behind the pace required to set her personal best. She is chasing Anna Bourgeois and Cassidy Peterson at this point in the race. Bell lap now. Weidman continues to lead. 36.2 her lap time. Jessica Conrad, 35.32. So Conrad taking a second out. She comes in on the inside. She's challenging for the lead in this race. Small slip on the backstretch, but she's looking good into the final corner. Jessica Conrad finishing on the inner is gonna take the lead, completing the comeback. And Conrad driving through to the finish. She's looking for under 2:20. She finishes up with a 2:18.61, big personal best for Jessica Conrad. 2:20.66 for Lily Weidman. As we move on, in our next pair, Chloe Beauchesne from Manitoba in the inner lane, Sylvie Lloyd from BC on the outer. Well-matched pair. These two girls have personal bests of 2:22.45 and 2:22.60. It should be a tight race as they line up and get ready to go. They are underway now. This is Beauchesne in the inner lane, Lloyd in the outer. For reference, the time set by Emma Javra, who is currently sitting in 26th, was 2:20.82. So these skaters put up split times under 26th place. It means that they are on pace, and Sylvie Lloyd off to a quick start, sub 30-second opener. So very quick opener for Sylvie Lloyd. Chloe Beauchesne, 30.72. She's currently just off the pace as they crossed over in the backstretch. And they come around now with 800 meters remaining. This is Sylvie Lloyd continuing to lead. Her lap time 35.38, 35.73 for Beauchesne. So Beauchesne starting to catch up again. As Sylvie Lloyd still on pace for a personal best. But she's into the last two laps. This is where the going gets tough. As Beauchesne continues to gain ground. Coming through, 500 meters remaining. You see both skaters swinging one arm with one lap remaining. Lloyd continues to lead. Her lap time 38.96, and Chloe Beauchesne 37.68 on that last lap. She gained a second on her pair, and it looks like finishing on the inner lane, she will charge through, and it should be a tight finish here as Chloe Beauchesne closed the gap. Beauchesne finishing on the outer has now carved a big lead over Sylvie Lloyd. Chloe Beauchesne chasing her personal best of 2:22. She will finish with a 2:22.24, a personal best for Chloe Beauchesne. Sylvie Lloyd finishes up 2:24.77. So as we move on to our next pair, two skaters with nearly identical personal bests. It looks like we actually have only one skater in this race. That is Zuzana Nedelyakova from Alberta in the outer lane. Shruti Kotwal is a scratch in this race. So Nedelyakova, her personal best is 2:23.53. Look for her to keep pace with Chloe Beauchesne in 27. So Zuzana Nedelyakova looking for an opening split around 31 seconds, 29.5. Very quick opener for Zuzana Nedelyakova. She's doing what she has to do through this first 300 meters. Swinging both arms in this backstretch. She is going for it. Crossing over into the inner lane. Looking quick here on this first lap. As Nedelyakova comes around her first lap time, she will be looking for faster than a mid-35, and she comes through 34.0. So Zuzana Nedelyakova setting herself up for a personal best if she can maintain this pace. 2 laps to go, though. She comes around swinging an arm into the outer lane. Nedelyakova will have the advantage of finishing on the inner lane. 500 meters remaining. On this next lap, she will be looking for a 37, and she does, 37.14. So Zuzana Nedelyakova right now on pace for a low 2:20. Her personal best coming in 2:23. So let's see how well she can hang on in this inner lane. She has to keep this next lap under 43 seconds, which she should do. So she comes through. She will smash her personal best. Her final time, 2:20.70, 3 seconds off her previous best time. Excellent finish for Zuzana Nedeljkova. What a race. As we now move on to our next pairs, Stephanie Spicer in the inner lane, Molly Johnson in the outer, both skaters from Alberta. So these skaters will be looking to match Zuzana Nedeljakova's time. Nedeljkova smashing her personal best. Spicer and Johnson would like nothing better than to do that. As they are now underway, their PBs are 2:24s. So look for them to keep pace with Chloe Beauchesne and Sylvie Lloyd, who were 28th and 29th respectively. So these skaters will be looking for opening splits under 32 seconds. Opening split for Stephanie Spicer, 29.5. Good opener for Stephanie Spicer, sub 30 seconds. Molly Johnson also with a good opener, 30.3. As they come around, coach is giving them lap times on the backstretch as they enter the corner. Skaters change lanes every lap. The 1500 meter, a very long sprint, a pure middle distance race. It's a lot like the 800 meter in track, where the skaters have to go out almost as fast as they can and try and hang on to their speed for as long as possible. Spicer continuing to lead, 34.0 her lap time. Good lap time for Stephanie Spicer. Molly Johnson, 35.7. So through 700 meters, Stephanie Spicer on pace for a low 2:20. Molly Johnson also looking at a low 2:20 as we get the bell for Spicer. Her lap time, 37.84. If she wants a personal best, she has to keep this next lap under 42 seconds as Molly Johnson comes around. They switch lanes the last time into the final corner. Molly Johnson is finishing hard. Some good, strong strides down that home stretch. She's still looking strong as Spicer finishes up 2:21.92, a big personal best for her. 2:25.34 for Johnson. Johnson just missing her personal best. We now have 3 pairs remaining in this ladies' 1500 meter. Hannah Brun from BC on the inner lane will be racing Emma Varden on the outer. And it appears we have a scratch, so it will be just Hannah Brun racing on her own in this next race. Hannah Brun in the inner lane is chasing a personal best of 2:24.16. So she will be looking to keep pace with Chloe Beauchesne and Stephanie Spicer. Those two were 28th and 29th, respectively. So if Beauchesne is sitting in 28, 29, or 30 on every lap, it's a good time in a really quick opener, 29.2 for Hannah Brun. She'll come around. Nice, long, strong strides from Hannah Brunn. In speed skating, these skaters adopt what's called basic position, which is where the knees are bent at 90 degrees, the back is leaned over and arched. The goal is to reduce the size of the body to reduce air resistance. Hannah Brunn through 700 meters, 34:31. Another good split time for Hannah Brunn. If she can maintain this pace, she is set for a low 220. That would put her in line, the likes of Lily Weidman or Zuzana Nedeljkova. She comes around on the inner lane, still looking good, swinging both arms with 1 lap to go. Hannah Brunn, her lap time 37:52. So Brunn, if she can keep this next lap under 41 seconds, she is looking at a big personal best as everything tightens up on this last corner. And you can just feel her pain, watch her legs slowing down. She comes down the final stretch. She is looking for under 224. She will come to the line and crush that time, 221:45. 3-second personal best for Hannah Brunn. As we now move on to the 19th pair. This is Danica Grierson from Manitoba in the inner lane. My mistake, Danica Grierson will skate on her own in the outer lane. Sophie Pett, a healthy scratch. As Danica Grierson will start in that outer, she is looking for a 2:48:23. She rockets down that opening stretch. Any opener under 34 seconds would set Danica Grierson up for a good race as she comes around on the home stretch. 3 laps remaining. Her opening split, 33:18, so she is on pace right now. As she comes from the outer lane to the inner lane, skaters change lanes every lap. So skaters adopt that basic position. Their knees over their toes, knees bent at 90 degrees. Back arched over. The other key element to long track speed skating is weight transfer. So every stride, rather than just pushing with their muscles, the skaters lean with their body and put their body weight into the blades and into the ice, giving them extra push and extra speed. Danica Grierson's 700-meter split, 38:15 was her lap time. So Grierson currently on pace for a personal best. She will come around with 500 meters to go. Some good weight transfer. Skaters should be hitting their outside edge for a brief moment on every stride. Bell lap now, 40.59 for Danica Grierson. Her personal best is a 2:48:23. So if she can keep this next lap in the low 40-second range, she will be on pace for a personal best as she's finishing on the inner lane. Grierson coming around, set to smash her PB by over 10 seconds. She comes to the line, her final time, 2:34.12. That is 14 seconds off her previous personal best. So an awesome race there from Danica Grierson. Fastest she has ever gone by far. And that sets us up well for our final pair, Callie Ann Friesen from Saskatchewan in the inner lane, and Martina Antefe from BC in the outer. The best reference point for these two skaters will be Danica Grierson, who just skated a final time of 2:34.12. That was good for 33rd. So keep an eye on the split times and the position after those split times as Antefe leads the way through 300. Her lap time, or her opening split, 29:34. It's a very quick opener for Martina Antefe. Friesen, 30.8, also a fast opener. So both skaters looking to break the 2:30 mark. Callie Ann Friesen's personal best, a 2:32. Martina Antefe's personal best, 2:39. As they come around, 800 meters remaining, 2 laps to go for Martina Antefe, leading her pair, 36.6 her lap time. Callie Ann Friesen, 36.5. So both skaters posting good 700-meter splits. Antefe, if she can maintain this pace, is looking at a low 2:20. That would be over 15 seconds off her previous personal best. Callie Ann Friesen currently on pace for a sub 2:30, which would also be a PB with 1 lap remaining. It's Friesen who has now taken over the lead. Friesen's lap time just squeaking under 40 seconds, 39.99. 42.05 for Antefe. So Martina Antefe looking to keep this next lap under 45 as they cross over for the last time. Callie Ann Friesen, she can keep the next lap under 43 seconds. She's looking at that sub 2:30 time. That was the goal as she comes down the line through to the finish. It's going to be close. Her final time, 2:29.61. She breaks the barrier. Martina Antefe, 2:33.25. Both skaters with big personal bests in the final race of this ladies' 1,500 meters. So it is PB City here at the Olympic Oval in the Oval International Ladies 1,500 meter. Over half the skaters breaking personal bests this afternoon. Alexandria Niculescu had the fastest time, 2:01.21. Namaste Harris Gauthier and Veronique Dady rounding off the top 3. Be sure to tune back in at 2:30 Mountain Time for the Ladies and Men's World Cup Selection Mass Start event. Some exciting racing coming up, so stay tuned.